So I'm looking to see if there are any baby penguins in that rookery. Oh, hi. Oh gosh. Anyway, I just thought I would have a little fun. Sean says that I look like a movie star instead of a person on some kind of a exploration. All right. So here's the deal. You are at a day now where I would like for you to be ready to put your piece in motion. I want you to start drafting. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen because I want you to take a look at a list that I made for us to help us with what I would like for you to keep in mind when you're drafting. All right. First of all, today is a day where when you draft, I would like for there to be some nonfiction text features in your piece. So yes, you're going to be writing out the words now. You've been working on that for a while, taking all of the research that you've done and putting it into your own words. But I also want you to consider some things that maybe didn't pop up yet. Now, you've already thought about your subheadings. So I know that you know that. I'd like for you to think about what the titles of your subheadings are going to be. So for example, in my final piece, my subheading titles are going to be healthy habits, funny foods, penguin parts, lively life cycle. I put those ideas together because I sort of wanted a little bit of alliteration in that. So healthy habits, funny foods. Yours might just be a question. So how does the penguin behave? What does the penguin eat? What does a penguin look like? And so forth. All right. Another thing that I thought you might want to make sure that you consider is putting pictures into your piece. So when you start to write out your words that are in your own words, all of that you've learned about your animal, I want you to imagine, well, what would the picture that goes along with this be? So I pulled up a a book that I wanted you to see. That is this the book on penguins. And now, oh yes, we've seen this book before, but we're looking at it with a different pair of eyes. Yes, your piece is going to have a beautiful cover. I do not want you to work on that cover until you are completely finished with everything else. Okay. That's kind of like the fun part. So save the best for last. Yes, you are going to have a table of contents, but you are not going to write your table of contents until you know what it's going to be. In my piece, I put my table of contents together, but I didn't know what page everything was going to be. So I knew I had an introduction, healthy habits, funny foods, but look, it's page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, and then page 7, because page 5 is actually 2 pages. So you're not going to know what that is until you actually get going. Also, I'm noticing there are bold words. Those are your glossary words. So when you are writing, I want you to make sure you know what your glossary words are. I want you to know what your vocabulary words are. You have a separate sheet of paper, some of you, for your vocabulary. That was a lesson a few weeks ago. I want you to start incorporating those words now into your writing. And so the way that would look is like a penguin is a bird. Now, in my final piece, I might have said, oh, when penguins are nesting and preparing to have babies or hatchlings, they stay in areas called rookeries. A rookery is, but when I put that vocabulary word in my glossary at the end, it's not the first word that appears. It actually appears in alphabetical order. So I want you to know what those words are, but at the end, you are going to have all those words, at least 4, on the glossary, the word and the definition, but it's going to be in alphabetical order. Another thing that is coming up is that there are pictures. Now, some of the pictures are hand drawn. So here's some great illustrations with the caption that goes along with it, and it's hand drawn. But sometimes the pictures that appear in the book are actually easy for you to say, actually photographs. So there's something I wanted you to learn from me that I think that you can handle it. Here it is. When we're doing pictures, it's either a drawing or a photo. I want you to consider the words photo credit. So if you find a picture that is not going to be your hand drawn picture, but it's going to be a picture that you found on the internet, you printed it out, you cut it, and you put it onto your piece, I want your caption to include photo credit, where you got the picture from. So here it is. In mine, it might say, a penguin swallowing its fish whole. Credit, buzzle.com. so that people know I wasn't there. I didn't go to Antarctica. I did not take this picture. Somebody else did. And I'm going to give that person credit for it. So if you can muster up another task, you're going to be working on that this week. If you find a picture that you really, really love at home and you want to bring it in and put it into your piece when you're working at school, I want you to print it out, cut it up neatly, put it onto your piece, unless you are working on this typing, which most of you are not doing. But if you are working at home and you're doing this digitally, then you'll drag the picture into your document, but you will also figure out where that picture came from and give the credit. All right. And so you'll have pictures, hand-drawn or photos with the captions and a photo credit. You might consider a map. So if I'm writing about the Mali elephant, I don't know what Mali is. Oh, Mali is a country in Africa. So you might include a hand-drawn picture of Africa in that page with a little special spot on the Africa map that shows exactly where Mali is. Okay. And then also diagrams. You'll see in my final piece, I did a diagram of the penguin. It's a picture of the penguin with the eyes, the head, the body, the flipper, and so forth. So you're going to want to do that with your animal possibly, and that will appear somewhere in your piece. All right. So your maps, your diagrams, and then of course your bold words. That's all of the words that you put together in your vocabulary page and also throughout your research that you want to make sure you highlight when you're writing. At the very end of all of this, sometimes there is an index, but we're not doing that. But definitely there will be a table of contents. I put that last because that's one of the last things you're going to do. All right. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I know this is a lot. You can watch this over and over again, and I'm going to encourage you to do that because this is the only video that I'm going to make this week. So today you're going to work on these things. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, whatever the days are, as you watch this video, you're going to work on this and maybe need to watch the video again. All right. So I'm going to go back to my, I'm going to go back to my, my little research, just trying to find my, and I hope you all have a, a really beautiful day.